Back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances, and before she arrived on Rocky Top, the Volunteers had been out of the NCAA tournament for 5 seasons. She has really turned things around there. This is one of the better teams in the country. Morgan Fingal doesn't get on top of that one, and wearing number 1, missed that ball out of bounds, wearing number 7, Morgan Fingal, 6'1" graduate out of Fairfax, Virginia. You saw her numbers, and where do you rank her? We'll have this conversation throughout the course of the day, but she's going to be among one of the very, very best at that position nationally.
When you're the best on your team on one of the best offenses in the country, you've got to be in the conversation for SEC and National Player of the Year.
Doug right on target, transition opportunity. Block, defense together, but it's got to turn into points on the wing.
Working in transition is where these teams have to excel today because they're both pretty good offensively, especially on Tennessee's side. Texas A&M has to convert these defensive plays, and those hitters got to continue to swing in those holes.
Number 13, Diana Moneke, 6-foot freshman, top recruit for Texas A&M, showed you why. That was a brilliant swing and a tough chance there for A&M as that ball dribbles to the floor.
Not only does Fingal bring the power up front, she's also very crafty. She knows where the defense is on the other side. She's able to go right up and over that block where the defenders aren't.
22 drills early in the season to sort of set the tone against Wisconsin. And she attacks 29% of all the possible total attacks for Tennessee. Nice swing and dig into the cross court. Tennessee is really good in first ball contact and serve receive and in defense. These are the long rallies that A&M has to win. Lindecki off the edge. That was close to a double contact. Speaking of opposites, Lindecki is really good as well, wearing number 9. Good misdirection, but that ball missed out of bounds. So 2 early hitting errors for Tennessee.
Well, and this looks great for Texas A&M so far. They're already outlasting Tennessee in that defensive battle. That's the number 1 key for them coming in against this efficient Tennessee offense. They got to settle in defensively.
Elena Pearson, 5'6" freshman, getting the start at the libero after we were told just before the teams came out for their early warm-up that Ava Underwood, the usual libero, is out with an injury. Right on cue, Pearson with a nice sprawling dig. Pretty good set in transition. We talked about A&M's block. On the other side, number 16 is pretty stout as well. Raven Chase, the 6'5" graduate transfer out of Toronto, Canada originally, and a transfer. Interesting story from Eastern Michigan. Here is Erica Lovett, 5'11" junior out of Newman, Georgia. Transfer from Long Beach State in Knoxville for her 2nd season. Again, good first contact. And off to a very comfortable start. Moneke, we talked about her from Cypress, Texas, a first-team high school All-American, one of the early foundations of the Jamie Morrison program here in College Station.
With how fast Texas A&M's offense can run in system, Tennessee has to continue to find a little bit more pace on the serve to take that speed away from Texas A&M's offense.
There's Margot Manning, 5'10" freshman out of nearby Houston, Texas, one of 2 setters deployed in the 6-2 system, and with a service error. Just underway, best 3 out of 5 sets. Thanks for joining us here on this Sunday afternoon. 25th meeting all time between the Aggies and the Lady Volunteers on the volleyball court, tied at 12 apiece. Abby Eckler, the junior out of Flower Mound, Texas, on to serve and play some defense for Tennessee. Currently number 7 in the RPI. Another very good serve, beautiful dig by Eckler. And into the cross court, nicely done in transition. Both of these teams very, very good in that phase. Jasmine Moore, 6-foot graduate out of Germantown, Maryland. You know her very well as a transfer out of Ohio State.
Yeah, Janisha Moore, 4 years out of Ohio State, did an incredible job. She was in and out of the lineup, really settled into this Tennessee starting lineup, though.
Played some very big matches, did Janasia Moore at Ohio State. They were very much in the mix atop the Big Ten standings and also into the NCAA tournament. Back to serve for the first time. Diana Moneke, 17 aces on the year, 27 errors, off to a very good start for her career. Tight pass and on the joust, nicely done. Number 11, Caroline Kerr, 5'11" redshirt freshman out of Champaign, Illinois. Sat out all last year and stepped right in for Natalie Hayward, one of the real reasons why Tennessee has been so successful on the year.
So impressive, too, as a redshirt freshman, really in her first campaign in the starting lineup, having missed no steps in terms of this offensive efficiency.
Number 3 in the SEC in assists in a conference loaded with good setters. Good passing again, and that time off the edge of the block. Nicely done by Lokio, 6'6", redshirt freshman out of Omaha, Nebraska.
That's what she's able to do. She can go up and over that block just with the reach that she has. Standing at 6'6", she almost towers over most blockers in front of her. If that ball is high enough, she can go for those high hands and go over it.
Texas A&M playing with 2 setters and 2 opposites in the 6-2 system. But Nikki is the other opposite. We've already seen her a couple of times. And that ball just out of bounds. Texas A&M maybe we'll have an early challenge. That looked libero. Oh, they called it in. You were right. So Texas, oh yeah, fist pump for you on the right.
1-0. Well, it's so tough, you know. You have
I was
to have
only
that.
half wrong. I said I didn't know. I said this was a tough one. A&M now up 7-5, and maybe most importantly on that, given when the challenge was asked for, Texas A&M and Jamie Morrison still have 2 challenges. Really good out-of-system set, good swing high up into the block, restart the point. And Fingal off the edge of the block and down. Where has she improved? Where has she evolved over the course of her now 5-year career at Tennessee?
The biggest way Fingal has improved is her shot selection. It's not just all power all the time. She has great court vision to see the block in front of her. We're seeing her test the edges more and more.
Used to carry such a huge load, but as much as she still does offensively, this is a very, very balanced Tennessee team. Smart shot. Nicely done and good choice softly over the top of the block and down.
Really smart shot from Muth on the outside, identifying where the defense was, sucked in. Tennessee going to the left side of the court. That opens up a lot right down that line to the 1-6 team. Beautiful court vision by the graduate.
1,500 kills now. She had 1,499 coming in. There's number 16 in white. Sabula Tepe on to serve. The other setter we're seeing for the first time. And a nice rip out of the middle. Volleyball is very unique in that your defense start, you just took a facial, or was that off the top of it?
A little bit of something. All good.
You need a little help from up top. But one of the things that's very unique about the sport of volleyball is that your defense starts with the ball in your hands. It starts at the service line. And A&M, I think, has got to get a little bit more aggressive from the service line. That one was easy. Handled perfectly by Muth. And a really nice kill. Both teams functioning at a very high level here in both reception and offensively. Morgan Perkins, 6'1" sophomore with the kill.
And this is what allows that pass, that middle involvement to happen. When you have a good pass, that setter is pushed up. It is easy to get that middle one-on-one.
There is Muth, Texas A&M hitting 363, and there is another service error after the challenge moments ago. That was upheld. That ball was, or overturned, I should say. That ball was good. Just a 1-point lead now for Jamie Morrison, once again in his first year. Spent a couple of years at nearby, can I say the Texas Longhorns in this building, or will that cause problems?
Quietly.
Wonderful, wonderful choice to reestablish this Texas A&M program that was elite under Lori Corbelli and her husband John for a long time. Went to a regional final, and this is a program with a lot of potential, and look what the SEC is doing. Look at the coaches that they have hired over the last 5 or 6 years, and even more recently. Brent Crouch at Auburn, Jamie Morrison here on the sideline, Eve Rockham-Watt over at Tennessee, amongst several others around the conference. Really a step up with Texas and Oklahoma coming in next year. Here is Pearson, the substitute libero, holding up pretty well right now. Got to control that ball. Why only one blocker up against a fairly slowly developing pipe play from Fingal?
Well, and an interesting decision when you have Raven Chase going on that slide and an outside attack. It really splits the blockers. It makes it difficult to put 2 up, but that's a choice for Texas A&M that they seem to be okay with.
Got to talk a lot more about Raven Chase and what she's added to this team for Tennessee. Was unable to play until the beginning of October. Block touch off the edge. Very, very nice swing. Once again, good offense in transition for Tennessee.
Janaisa Moore getting involved in that offense, a really fast tempo set outside, results in one-on-ones. She has great court vision to see the block in front of her.
Tied at 10, opening set. Here at Reed Arena in College Station. Good flat serve, but well handled by Muth. Really good offense. Really good play off the right side, but it all started after a perfect pass from Muth.
Perfect pass allows the speed of this offense to work. Look at how fast that ball is coming. No one's going to close that block up. That's going to be a seam every time for Lednicki to go right through.
Buzlatepe going behind. Very nice location. Good speed as well. Texas A&M now hitting .429. Both teams functioning very nicely, as we've mentioned. Said that word a lot. Margot Manning, the other setter, coming on now. Good pass by Moore. And we should talk about number 16, Raven Chase, 6'5" graduate, wonderful career at Eastern Michigan. Twice was all Mid-American Conference, but was unable to play until the 4th of October because she signed with an agent. She thought she was going to play professional. I find it interesting. You can sign with an agent for NIL, but you can't sign with an agent to turn pro.
Yep.
More on her eligibility and what she's going to do for this Tennessee team after this play. Moore again. That is an absolute rip. Janaisha Moore wearing number 18 in orange. But to finish the thought on Raven Chase, she transferred to Tennessee when she decided to use her COVID year, her 5th year. And so Tennessee didn't even know that she would be eligible at all when she came to Knoxville. They petitioned the NCAA. The NCAA, as it had done before, told her that she could only play 50% of the time. Tennessee appealed that decision, but it is 50%. That's why she could not play until the 4th of October. And as Eve Rackamwatt told us, she is an absolute difference maker in terms of the future of this team.
Chase has been a game changer for this team that needed a little bit more production and defense from the middle. Raven Chase provides both of that. The way she can affect the ball on both sides of the game is absolutely elite.
Coach Rackamwatt, when we talked to her earlier in the week, we asked what, you're 22-3. You lost to Wisconsin, you lost to Kentucky, you lost to Arkansas. Pretty good resume. Where do you need to improve? She said block defense. Those are the areas, because they've got attackers. You look at Fingal, you look at Moore, you look at Erica Lovett. If they dig balls, they're going to score. Tennessee with the 1-point advantage, and here is Kerr once again, the reigning freshman of the week in the SEC. Tight play. That was a back row setter. That could have been a violation, and nicely done by Kiki Granberry, 6'3" sophomore out of Winter Garden, Florida. Love her number 77. That takes multiple fingers. I guess we're not playing basketball, so the foul was on, if you will.
Just give a double 7.
How do you do double? I got you. I got it. Shank pass. That ball served in a very nice seam, sort of the 5-6 seam, and we've come to the media timeout. Tennessee, 22-3.
A little bit better.
We talked about the scenario. This is a very, very big opportunity for Texas A&M. Coming into the week at 28 in the RPI, taking on 7 in the RPI, so a chance to really move up. What a beautiful dig. Love it in the back court, sprawling. Absolutely spectacular dig, and a net violation is called against Texas A&M. Beautiful defense in the center back.
Well, Erica Lovett is essentially like having another libero back there. She's averaging 3.2 digs per set. She's incredible, not only front court as a hitter, but in the back court.
Biggest lead of the opening set, now 16-12, and really working on the freshman in terms of serve receive. Carolyn Muth, 5'11" graduate out of nearby San Antonio with a kill, the transfer from Notre Dame.
Margot Manning with an impressive set all the way outside, still with tempo, 10 feet off the net, setting over her shoulder. So impressive as just a freshman in this game.
See how this goes on. Here is Molly Brown, 6-foot redshirt junior out of Goshen, Indiana, a transfer from Purdue. But right now, Tennessee is really targeting Diana Moneke, the 6-foot freshman, in terms of serve receive. See what happens with that pressure. Another perfect pass. And Janaisha Moore off the edge of the block and down. Boy, she looks so good. What an addition to this team from Ohio State.
Not only the offensive production that Janaisha Moore provides, but Coach Eve Rackamwatt has talked about the experience she brings to this team, and having been deep in the tournament before, she changed the mindset of this team of, we have these goals, but we can reach further.
Ashley King wearing number 10 in orange for Tennessee. On to serve, and there's another shank pass. A&M is it better serving now, or is A&M just kind of being exposed here in some seams in terms of reception? Because they were rock solid first 10 or 12 points.
Tennessee's doing a much better job targeting those seams. Not
serves, 8 perfect passes to start the opening set. Then since that time, 1 of 6 in terms of perfect pass. Yeah, really, that tells you what's exactly going on in this match. Texas A&M went from being in system and threatening across the dial to really being out of sorts right now. They need a good passer and get out of this rotation. Here is King once again. Good flat serve, handled pretty well by Muth. Good transition set and off the edge. Nicely done. Good swing that time by Erica Levitt, 5'11" junior. Mentioned the transfer out of Long Beach State, her second year in Knoxville.
And as a 5'11" outside, she has to be more crafty and more rangy than some other outsides because she's not jumping at as high of a clip.
Service error by Tennessee. Jay Torres, a 5'7" graduate out of Puerto Rico, wearing the libero jersey, has been absolutely rock solid. It's a nice upgrade in that position. The transfer from Bowling Green averaged just about 5 digs per set last year at Bowling Green.
Well, Nima Rakamwat has talked about how when she knew she was good was when Bowling Green actually beat them in 4 last season, and she turned some heads.
There's a shank pass. Good service pressure from Texas A&M. That dialed up by Nisa Buzlatepe.
That's the #1 way to take Tennessee out of their efficient offense is serving tough. It not only gets them out of system, but it makes that defense stress just a little bit more.
That time working on Janisha Moore. Good play by the libero, stepping in front by Torres, leads to a side out. Nicely done, good libero play.
It's exactly what you want to see from one of your veteran players, especially your libero. That frees up one of your outsides to potentially be in that hitting pattern as well. You want that aggressive play from your libero to get the middle involved.
Granberry with the kill once again. Both teams very efficient offensively. We talked how good Tennessee was. They're hitting .619. And here's another shank pass, free point. That's just too easy. Good work defensively, starting at the line by number 22, Torres.
You mentioned that .619 number for Tennessee as well. And this is a good defensive team in Texas A&M, but that just shows you how good Tennessee is offensively in terms of that efficiency.
26th ace on the year for the libero, Torres, again out of Puerto Rico. That's good contact. Nice looking offense until that misconnection, that time on the outside, looking for Lednicki.
That pass pretty good right in the pocket. Buzlatepe trying to get the outside, being at the right time headed into postseason play.
And the addition of Raven Chase. You talked about Wisconsin, 3-2 in that. Morgan Fingal was outstanding, had over 20 kills, but Chase was ineligible for that particular contest. Lednicki nicely done, the lefty off the edge of the block in rotation #1, where the opposite hits the left side, number 9 in white. On the year, she's averaging 3.4 kills, hitting .259. SEC all-freshman team last year.
Lednicki, especially as a lefty on the outside, a little bit different to block. So you'll see her when she is in that rotation swinging, the block has trouble with it from time to time.
Butte now with 1,500 plus kills. We're going to have a serving sub, Lauren Hogan, defensive specialist and captain out of Loveland, Ohio, and a transfer from Syracuse. Well, she was there, made the all-ACC freshman team. Second year at A&M. 22-16, Tennessee leading opening set, best 3 out of 5. Very quiet. And Fingal has been relatively quiet, but we talked about in the years past, Morgan Fingal, wearing number 7, was the go-to all the time, but now you add more and the elevated play of Erica Levitt. This is a very difficult team to defend.
Very balanced. You never know where the ball's going, and all those pin hitters are able to put a ball down, as well as the middles this season.
Caroline Kerr, the redshirt freshman setter, has been outstanding. Perfect pass again, nice play. Cross body out of the middle, good delivery by Buzlatepe.
Important for Texas A&M to get their middles going early on, especially during set 1. They have to establish them as a threat. This team can get a little bit pin heavy from time to time, so important to establish them early on.
But we showed you and told you during the timeout, 1 out of their last 6 in terms of perfect pass. That's the benefit of having your setter in system. You can threaten right across the dial. Pretty good transition setting. Love it going to look off the top of the block. And missed it long, a rare hitting error so far. Only their 3rd of the opening set for Tennessee.
Those are the errors that you're okay with when you have them going
good
for
swing.
high hands,
Yeah.
clearly. It's a good swing.
There is Pearson on the floor once again as a 5'6" freshman wearing the Libero jersey. After Ava Underwood was ruled out of the match because of injury. Good block up front. He's a number 7 in the RPI. To remind Texas A&M, currently 28, but probably now down in the low 30s after their loss at Kentucky. There was a net violation. Wow, that was an interesting no call. Of course we're going to have a challenge.
I mean, it wasn't even subtle.
No.
Like someone just, yeah.
That was A&M who netted. I thought it was Lednicki over. She's pleading innocent, but 7 hitting 571. But getting some really good help. Janasia Moore, transfer from Ohio State, is 6 of 8 no errors. Really good offensive performance so far by both teams, quite frankly. It was inconsistent for a bit of time for A&M. That's what might probably have cost them this set. There it is, 23-20. Torres out of Overland Park, Kansas, pressed into duty. Good pass under pressure and going to Fingal. Where else do you go? Really smart and a wonderful first contact.
Well, back-to-back sets right to Morgan Fingal. Of course, the one before didn't count because of the net call, but that connection just looks like butter between Caroline Kerr and Fingal, especially in that backcourt on this D-ball. It is stunning going right through the seam.
And at 23-20, that was a pretty good pressure pass. Lednicki first contact. Buzla Tepe goes right back to her and got it off the edge of the block. That's nice work by number 9. Logan Lednicki, mentioned her 6'3" sophomore out of nearby Sugar Land, Texas.
Working so hard not only to get that pass, but get all the way back so she has momentum and a full runway for that approach to use.
Set point number 2 for Tennessee. They have won 6 in a row, including most recently at LSU, 3-0, won quite easily. Good pass. A&M must have, not a perfect first contact. Where do you go? Got to go right side. Not good contact there off the attack. Good save by Moneke. And right side again. 1, 2, 3. Several looks, and it turned out to be inconclusive. So here we are at 24-22. Who said a couple of minutes ago that Tennessee was going to win this opening set? Vital Lopio and the Aggies are right there. Freshman setter Manning. 3rd set point. Good pass. Wonderful swing. First time not right there was that Janasia Moore once again. A very, very good offensive balance for Tennessee, as we've talked about, something that they have not necessarily had throughout the years. Buzla Tepe will go back to serve. Once again, A&M coming in. They've lost 6 out of their last 7, 7 and 8 in conference, 28 in the RPI. So on the bubble, and there is Morgan Fingal. It was interesting when we talked to Eve Rackham-Watt. Morgan Fingal was her first ever recruit when she got the job, and not highly recruited. And it wasn't until after her sophomore year that Fingal really flipped the switch. Her father, who was a military man, Andrew, said, "What are you going to make of this?" She's made a pretty good deal of her career at Tennessee, maybe the best ever. That ball into the top of the tape by the aforementioned Fingal, wearing number 7.
Coach Rackham-Watt has talked about the hard work that it's taken her to get there. It wasn't easy for her starting out at Tennessee, playing at this high of a level as an undersized opposite. She's had to work so hard to get where she's at this season.
Tremendous family support, and it was interesting. Finish after this point. Nice tip down by Kerr on the second contact. When we were speaking with Coach Rackham-Watt the other day on a Zoom call, She thought for sure that Morgan Fingal, who was unhappy and uncomfortable with the way she was going to the floor defensively, was in their training facility getting in some extra reps. That's just the kind of leadership, the kind of dedication she has to getting better and helping her team go much farther than they have in a long time.
That's what you want out of your leaders. You want them to not only focus on little parts of the game, that you want them to be well-rounded, like specific things like going to the floor, the way she does it. She's always looking for ways to improve that game. It's not just offense for her.
Out of the back row and comfortably off the edge that time once again for Fingal.
This is a position where they've moved around a little bit. With the addition of Raven Chase, who's so good on that slide, Fingal can't come in on that D-ball because you have 2 hitters in one zone. They've moved her to that big attack, and it's been just as lethal.
I like it, and I really like what I'm seeing from Kerr. I've seen her on videotape an awful lot. Accurate, good rhythm, and she's getting some very good passing. But Nikki stopped momentarily. Good first contact. Transition opportunity, but look where Kerr was. Absolutely at the net, all weapons available.
Defense into offense for Tennessee. This perfect dig right up at the net allows all options available for Tennessee. That stresses out A&M's block so much, allowing the seams for Janaisha Moore to bang it through.
Moore now with 8 kills on 14 swings. Service pressure on Moneke. That ball didn't come out. It was a struggle for that. As a former setter, you know, you're looking up in the lights and that ball's spinning. It barely came out of Kerr's hands, but good enough.
Good enough and a little bit quick, but Janaisha Moore found a way to put it down. That's what makes her so good. She can adjust to those mid-approach, mid-swing really well.
And wonderful showcasing of Fingal's all-around play. Perfect dig after a ball that was ripped into the cross court. Nice dig by Torres, the libero. And Fingal, tough chance, missed that one into the net. She and Janaisha Moore, their senior year of high school, played for the same club team. Janaisha Moore from nearby Maryland, nearby as far as Morgan Fingal from Fairfax, Virginia. Just underway, second set. Tennessee, currently ranked number 8 in the country, 7 in the RPI, won the opening set. Not easily, 25-22. Another really good pass. Smart shot by Kerr up into the block reset. Another smart shot. Got to keep the ball on your side of the net. Granberry on the over dig. That was missed, I think, by Carolyn Muth in the backcourt for Texas A&M.
A lot of power coming off of that swing, resulting in the overpass. As a defender, you have to absorb this just a little bit better so it doesn't result in the overpass. That's an easy kill for the other side.
Kerr, 27 aces so far on the year, this time targeting Muth. Out of system. Nice transition. Kiki Granberry, 6'3" sophomore out of Florida. SEC all-freshman team last year. Number 6 in the conference in efficiency at just under 350.
She works so hard getting off the net. She's a big block up front, but she works even harder getting all the way off so that she's available for those transition plays to put it away.
One more and A&M might need an early timeout. Another shank pass. This is going to be a free ball coming to the Volunteers. Granberry again, good block out of the middle. Good work that time by number 14, Molly Brown. Saved what could have been an easy point.
You can tell in that perfect pass, Texas A&M is committing with the middles. They bring that outside block in as well, not paying attention to Fingal back there, just committing with that middle to put up 2.
There's Molly Brown. I mentioned a transfer. A lot of transfers in this match, 7 for Tennessee. Nothing new there. That's a good swing into the deep cross court.
Janaisha Moore changing up that depth of where she hits the ball. She can rip it cross court pretty sharp or right in the middle of the court, but sometimes that deep corner is the best shot she has, going right between the left back and middle back defenders.
You make a really good point. Their last contest, that was Tennessee's. That was at LSU on Friday. Tennessee hit 391. I was really impressed with Kerr. That ball is in for an ace, but also Janaisha Moore for exactly that reason. High flyer, likes to hit sharp inside the block, was really utilizing all of the court in Area 5 really well.
When you look at the shot chart for her, it's a complete fan of the entire court. That's what makes her so great. It's that range up front.
Ashlyn King with her 26th ace on the year. Set just a little bit low. Muth not able to get on top of it. Setter with the first contact. Really good dig by Torres. And right back at you by A&M. Once again, this time on the overset. That ball mishandled by Lopio.
So impressed by Jake Torres in the back row. She's not only
good.
getting touches on these balls, she's putting Caroline Kerr in the perfect position to run that efficient offense.
4.1 digs per set, 4th best in the conference. This conference is really, really improved over the last 5 or 6 years. Very few easy outs. It used not to be that way. That's good looking offense. Good timing, first contact, and Carolyn Muth, the Notre Dame transfer, with a kill.
The perfect pass allows that quick offense to run. This ball lightning fast out of the setter's hands to get outside. It is so difficult as a blocker to close this up because of how fast it's going. You will almost always have a seam in that block for the outsides to rip.
Remember, we showed you that percentage of perfect pass. For Tennessee, it was 74%. For Texas A&M, 52%. That's a huge differential. That ball served just out of bounds, but fairly much a consensus that Tennessee, probably like Kentucky, like Arkansas, with Gillen and Head and their fine libero, among the best receiving teams in the country, in the conference. Others will decide whether or not it's in the country. Here is Abby Eckler, transfer from Chattanooga, on to serve. Overpass, and straight to the floor by Raven Chase.
Feels like for Texas A&M, we're seeing either perfect pass or overpass. That window's so small between a perfect pass and an overpass, just getting a little bit too tight.
Yeah, I thought this was coming to really pay much attention to the assist number, but I do more the last couple of years. And you look at that, that's among the all-time single season best marks, number 2 all-time at Tennessee. And again, it's a combination of factors. Passing, quality of attackers in Tennessee has all of that.
Yeah, that's the other piece, is the pass is so good, it helps Kerr out. Also, the weapons that they have, especially on the pins with Moore, Lovett, and Fingal, they're able to clean up some sets that maybe aren't perfect.
Tennessee's only conference losses were both at home to Arkansas and Kentucky. Good. Oh, we've got an injury. Well, let's hope it's not serious. Raven Chase, who again missed much of the year because of eligibility requirements enforced by the NCAA, is going to try to walk this one off. We've all had that injury. If you played volleyball, you've all had that injury, either landing on a teammate's foot or on an opponent. She's telling Eve Rackamwatt, her head coach, that she's okay.
She grabbed her right ankle as she came down. See that little tweak on the way down. Does have a smile, so that's good to see.
It is, it is.
See how she moves.
Such a elevating presence so far for Tennessee. Again, played her first match on October 4th. Shank pass by Muth. Really good serve into the seam.
Beautiful serve right between the passers and not deep between them, making them move just a little bit shorter into a lot of traffic that's happening on the left side of A&M's court.
Take a look at Texas A&M and the pressure that Eckler is trying to put on once again into that seam, working on Muth. And a better block, everything going the way, and good news for Tennessee fans. And for Raven Chase, she looked pretty spry right there.
That's what a good serve does. When you get the team out of system, you know exactly where that ball is going. It's going out. Those blockers are just sitting and waiting on it.
15-5 now is the advantage for Tennessee. Very, very impressive. High flat swing, trying to get Tennessee ahead in the point. One-on-one, Lopiola's dug. Moore playing both ends. That's one of the rare sets that was missed that time, a little bit off the net that time. Fingal rolled the ball in, but Texas A&M did nothing with the opportunity.
And that's such an easy routine play to make as a right back defender. You wait for these easy moments. It's a good transition opportunity right on your platform. Just overran it a little bit, demanding.
Fingal now with 8 kills on 13 swings. Janasia Moore having a spectacular afternoon. 10 of 18 with no errors. Well over 400 is the Tennessee offense. Good swing down the line, dug by Eckler. Another setting mistake. Good save by Muth. Reset the point. And that ball finally to the floor. Good hard work by A&M in transition. Grind over time.
It's exactly what Jamie Morrison wants to see from his team. It's not just between plays in these rallies. Can they outlast Tennessee? Can these hitters continuously take high swings? And can those defenders settle in and keeping the ball up?
Logan Lidnicki playing on the right side. Two opposites. Lopiol out there as well. Both of them with, with 7 kills on 22 swings combined. Tennessee hitting .415. Texas A&M right at their season average, about .256. Here's Muth. Nice dig by Torres. Kind of a disjointed play on both sides. Good first contact there. Muth quickly to the outside. Good, fast offense by A&M.
When A&M gets those free balls or easier, maybe down ball plays, they're able to transition them so well because that pass is up there, and with the speed of it, they're able to go right in between those seams. The outside hitters identifying it really early on.
Watching Raven Chase, she twisted her right ankle coming down on a teammate moments ago. Looks like she's pretty comfortable and has moved on. Overpass, gotta have it. Lidnicki going downtown.
That's what happens when you leave Lednicki 1 on none. She's gonna go up and bring all the power that she's got. And impressive for Lovett to step in there. She's ready for it. Almost took one off the face, but so much power coming from Lednicki.
Lovett did not bail out.
Yeah, shows how tough she is.
The lead is still 8. Good run by Tennessee to get this separation. Outside to Lovett, nice comeback. Erica Lovett, only 5'11". You talk about the outside hitters. Janasia Moore at 6 feet tall. They are so good as 6 rotation outsides. Are they a little bit susceptible when they play a team like a Wisconsin, like a Stanford, like a Nebraska?
And when you play a team that's a little bit undersized, you can beat them with physicality. And when you have a team going up against them, it might be height, it might be speed. It's really difficult when you have shorter blockers.
Good soft block. And Raven Chase on the slide cannot be kept off the floor. Get killed by number 16 in orange.
We haven't seen too many slide attacks from Raven Chase so far. A lot of back ones close to the setter. That's one of the first times we've seen it pushed all the way out near the pin. That gives her that full runway to go out and bring it in.
As an example, in just 3 sets at LSU, she got 25 attempts, 12 of 25 the other night. That's a lot for a middle. Again, really good ball control by Tennessee. Moore out of the back row. Ball set a little bit tight. And Carolyn Kerr, no touch. Emphatically no touch.
Good disciplined block up front. She went low and over, not allowing the outside to use her hands. Watch Kerr 11 in orange, getting those hands just low and over, nothing to use.
And then sends a little bit of a
NCAA tournament. You could see them making a deep run with the pieces that they have. This conference just so strong this year and only getting stronger every year.
Final thought on Missouri after this service point by Morgan Fingal. Good block touch. That's an area where Coach Rackamwatt really wanted her team to improve. Block touch leads to an easy opportunity, and Raven Chase on the slide. But to finish the thought on Missouri, Don Sullivan, 5 years at UNLV, built that program. Last year, Missouri was 2-16 in the SEC.
Dead last.
2-16. A lot of candidates for Coach of the Year in this conference. Big lead for Tennessee. Oh, wonderful serve. The focus for Morgan Fingal in every phase of the game really impresses me. She never, ever takes a contact off, let alone a play.
When you can watch before she serves, too, she has this moment of poise that she's really thinking about before that serve happens. She knows exactly where she wants to put it.
Oh, that was close to a very good serve, but no damage done. A huge lead, 21-9. Talked about Morgan Fingal and her family support that she's had throughout the course of her career. And her father, Andrew, was communicating with Coach Rackamwatt. Once again, Fingal was one of Coach Rackamwatt's first recruits. He called the coach from Afghanistan to say, we think she's coming, looks pretty good. Fingal, nice off the edge that time. Using the edge of the block that time of Morgan Perkins, in Tennessee is just cruising right now.
Fingal out of the back row, almost as efficient as she is in the front row. She's able to see the court so well from the back. She has more space to really see where those openings are.
Good swing, beautiful dig by Lovett. And transition opportunity. Janaisha Moore continues to have an afternoon, a career afternoon. That's now 11 kills on 20 swings. No errors. An error in volleyball statistics or nomenclature. You hit a ball out of bounds or you get blocked right back onto your side for a point. Moore again, ripping inside.
Janaisha Moore just surgical today. She is able to pick apart Texas A&M's defense with a big block in front of her. She's still able to sneak it right inside. That's a tough block to hit around, one of the best in the SEC.
And I've been impressed by Kerr, but also the rest of the Tennessee Lady Vols in their transition setting. They dig a ball, they're putting something up that's very hittable. That's an example right there. Not perfect, but certainly gettable by Moore. Watch for the tip. Oh, you could see that coming. And a rare unforced error that time for Tennessee, this time by Kerr on set point.
Erica Lovett, time and time again, just in the right place at the right time in middle block. She reads this game so well around the block.
Now you look at their defensive numbers. Tennessee is really good, as we talked about in serve receive, but they're also #2 in digs, only to Arkansas. On the overpass, good play by Kerr. That could have been called a lift. Fingal gets a handle on it. Torres will track it down. Again, set point for Tennessee. Timing not there. Look at Fingal flying in. Block deflection, kept off the floor. This is wonderful team effort and team defense. That ball outside the antenna. They shouldn't put that down as an attack error. They might, but they shouldn't. Really good effort by both teams, particularly Tennessee at the defensive end.
And the hustle that we're seeing to not only get touches on these balls, but to chase them down and get plays that make your jaw drop time and time again.
Set point #2 for Tennessee to take the 2-0 advantage. They won the opening set 25-22. That ball served out of bounds, and that will very quietly do it. A commanding 2-0 lead and a dominant sets. Texas A&M 49%. I'll give you Tennessee's after this opening play of the third set. Texas A&M has changed their libero. Beautiful block by Fingal along with Chase. Once again, 49% for Texas A&M, 71% for Tennessee so far in the afternoon. An absolutely huge factor. Lauren Hogan, who didn't start the match at libero. Once again, Ava Underwood out with an injury for A&M, the regular libero, if you will. She gave way, and now it is Lauren Hogan wearing #8 in the libero jersey, and seeing for the first time Ifena Cos-Apala, 6'2" sophomore out of Flower Mound, Texas. Didn't play a lot last year, but she's had a huge impact. One of the top blockers, not only in the SEC, but in the country so far on the year, dealing with an Achilles injury.
Kind of a mishap the other day while they were on the road. We didn't see her in that matchup against Kentucky. They were resting her. We were told today she was a coach's decision, throwing her in this third set, maybe just to test out what she can do.
Just underway third set. And Lovett rips inside the block and misses that out of bounds. A rare hitting error. That's only the 9th hitting error on 67 swings for the very efficient Tennessee Volunteers. 22-3 on the year, 13-2 in conference.
We'll see what this Texas A&M team can do. Backs against the wall. This is a game that will turn the selection committee's eyes toward them to make sure that they're in the NCAA tournament. If not, they still got work to do next weekend getting 2 wins.
Current RPI probably in the low 30s. It was 28 officially coming into the weekend. And of course we asked Coach Morrison about that, and he said, well, everybody tells me we're in good shape. but as example by that good swing off the left side, that's nice work by Biana Moneke. But have lost 6 out of 7. Okay, some of that is schedule. Some of that is to Florida. Some of that is to Kentucky. Some of that is to Arkansas, and maybe today to Tennessee. And no matches really left on the schedule, with all due respect, that can help them in the RPI. This was their last big opportunity. That's why as we came on the air, I said a very big challenge and an equally big opportunity for Jamie Morrison in his first year.
We've seen Texas A&M, though, go off during games. They took down Florida this season, which was their highest-ranked win in the last 24 years. We've seen them compete with these top teams. They just need to put together 3 sets.
Fingal again, deep into the cross court, using all of it off the right side into area 1. Area 1, the service area. It used to be the service area, now it's right back. Area 2 is in the right front. Middle is 3, left front is 4, 5 is left back, 6. Center field is area 6 around the dial. I put Morgan Fingal in my list of potential National Players of the Year. Tough serve again, Moneke. Nice platform, but that ball stuffed out of the middle. Raven Chase. Who would you put on your list?
For National Player of the Year?
Yes.
We'll go Kendall Kipp out of Stanford, the opposite. Sarah Franklin from Wisconsin, the outside hitter. I would put Skylar Fields in the conversation, but normally you got to be one of the top teams to earn that. But I think she's one of the best outsides in the country.
Skylar Fields putting up huge numbers. USC playing Stanford today. How about Maddie Skinner at Texas?
I think Maddie Skinner at Texas is definitely in that conversation. She's carrying that team that we've seen struggle from time to time with a lot of new pieces. She's been that leader that they've depended on, and she's putting up big numbers as well.
Anna DeBeer, 29 kills.
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, I'm just getting you there.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's also just one of the most fun outsides to watch. One of those undersides, fiery outsides on an ultra-competitive Louisville team.
This tournament is going to be so interesting because how will Tennessee match up with a team like Texas, match up with a team like Louisville or Pittsburgh? I think very favorably. I think we'll see a lot of sets in the tournament that are 27, 25, 26, 24. It's going to be very, very, very close indeed.
But it feels like the regionals might be more competitive than what we've seen in years past. There's a lot of teams that can compete with the best of them.
And who will be the top 4 seeds? Knight ripped down the line. Logan Lednicki had her to Biana Moneke, and there's some nice combination for years to come at Texas A&M.
The key coming into today's match was really slowing down Lednicki. Tennessee did it really well last game. She hit under 100, doesn't often do that. They slowed her down well, and they're doing it again tonight.
Yeah, the first meeting in Knoxville was pretty much dominated by Tennessee. 25-20, 25-16, 25-22. Tennessee hit 349, A&M only 213. Fingal was 15 of 31. So pretty much a repeat this time on the road for Janaisha Moore, number 18 in orange. And Tennessee. Brought up Maddie Skinner in Texas. Texas is an interesting conversation in terms of where they might be seated and where they might potentially be able to go.
Well, that's a team, too, that we've seen struggle from time to time, getting swept by an unranked Kansas State team
70 in the RPI, yeah.
And a team that was on the trajectory way upwards, and then all of a sudden you see them fold against a team that they shouldn't be losing to, let alone shouldn't be losing to in 3 sets. Now, granted, a great Kansas State team, but for a Texas team, they were in the conversation for a top 4 seed for a while.
Well, it was a wonderful performance by Kansas State. If you're number 70, you know, that's really, really detrimental to your seeding and your top 4 hopes. That ball inside the block, and Janaisha Moore looking for a touch. Everybody's saying yes, so we might have a challenge. Kiki Granberry certainly thought that there was a touch off the block, and Rackham Watt will use, she has one challenge remaining.
That's a big decision whether you use it and risk losing it, especially on touch calls. Those are the hardest to tell.
Yeah, she's not happy. She thought that that was a fairly, what we would call blatant touch, and that's in their home building. Touch off the block. Okay, there you go. So Janesha Moore, they'll fix the stats, now has 14 kills on 25 swings with 1 error. Good use of the challenge, the one remaining challenge by Eve Rackham-Watt, who was a wonderful player in her own right at her alma mater. North Carolina, still the all-time leader in assists for the Tar Heels. Instead of 6-all, it is 7-5. And Eckler on to serve. Really good first contact off the block touch. And good work by Muth. And better swing. Impressive off the left side.
Moneke finding ways around this Tennessee block, cutting inside this one. The set left inside for her, so one of the only shots she had was right through that seam inside, barreling it through.
I really like the two setters, Nisa Buzletepe and also Margot Manning. They're doing a good job of separating out some of the blocks from Tennessee, which is usually pretty solid. Moore is roofed. Beautiful play on the outside by Lopio.
Lapio, 6'6", standing up there. She's a wall up front when she's ready to go, locked and loaded. She can get those hands so far over the net. And for an undersized outside hitter for Janesha Moore, she's got to find a way around that.
Vital Lapio, just a redshirt freshman. As she gets stronger and stronger and spends time in the weight room and with all of the experts here at Texas A&M. Every school's got an expert now. She's going to have a big career. Moore hits high flat. She doesn't not get roofed very often unless it's in a special matchup. That ball missed out of bounds. And Texas A&M claws their way back in to take the lead.
Tennessee so far to start this third set, a lot more high error than what we've seen from them. 4 attack errors already this set, just 12 total on the match.
Yeah, for the way they were going and as efficient as they were, that's a good call. At 8-7, 4 hitting errors, that's way too many for Tennessee. And that ball served into the net, tied at 8. You're just joining us on this Sunday afternoon in College Station. Number 8 Tennessee, 22-3, 13-2 in the SEC, taking on Texas A&M at 15-10, 1 game under 500 as far as the conference standings, and all Tennessee 25-22, 25-11, and now tied at 8 here in the third. Overpass. Good night, or good afternoon, I should say.
That's what we saw a lot of in the second set. Such aggressive serving from Tennessee. Got not only Texas A&M out of system, but forced so many overpasses. Tennessee's front line, they were able to put them down easily.
Well, it's feast or famine seemingly right now with the reception game for A&M. Either really, really good or it's costing them points. I mean, that's a much better pass than the one that's over the net. At least you can get a good swing. And that ball smartly off of Lapio.
There's such a fine line between that perfect pass and overpass. And as a passer, oftentimes you think you just want to be good. You want to be within about 10 feet, even 10 feet off. Most setters can still run a pretty good in-tempo offense.
Well, 90% of the time, if not more, in serve receive, you want to make sure that you get a quality swing. And to your point, perfect pass or 10 feet off, that's trouble. That's even more trouble. Yeah, poor first contact, poor second contact, and back-to-back points for Tennessee. And a timeout is called.
Talk about bettering. Well, he's one of those coaches that everyone loves. You know, he's hard not to root for because of how great of a person he is.
Well, and there's a lot of coach speak around the country. That ball missed out of bounds by Muth, but I was buying everything he was selling the other day when we talked to him on the phone. Very professional, very focused, incredibly hardworking. Yeah, and this is a team, you know, in Texas A&M that is not without tradition. Lori Corbelli had this team into the NCAA tournament almost every year, seemingly. They went to a regional final. They went to a regional semifinal. They've been in the NCAA tournament 25 times. So it's not like you're going to a school that doesn't have any familiarity in the community or among the alumni with having success in the sport of volleyball.
You're not completely starting over a program. You're trying to get them back to where they were. And thinking back to where they were last season, 11th in the SEC, now tied for 7th. looking at that history they have, it makes recruiting that much easier when you can point to some success and say, hey, we've had it before, we're trying to get back there.
That SEC championship was in 2015. So time does fly, but you're talking about an era in 2015 when Mary Wise and Florida were dominating this conference. Then along came Kentucky, and now you look right down the ranks, and last year 7 teams into the NCAAs, and probably the same this year. Coach Morrison said that he thought that the SEC was arguably the deepest conference in the country, and that's a very interesting conversation. That ball blocked, and a nice move by Texas A&M. You're talking about having more teams out of the SEC in the NCAA tournament than the Pac-12 or the Big Ten.
And that just speaks to the depth of this conference. And one of the reasons why Jamie Morrison took this job, he saw where the SEC was going and wanted to be a part of it. But he also said he didn't expect them to get there this quickly.
Perkins once again, good deep serve, but pretty well handled. And Fingal has that ball waterfall down inside.
Fingal using power to barrel through that block. Lapio not setting it up perfectly over. If those hands aren't perfectly pressed over, Fingal's able to use fingertips out of bounds.
Good work done by the libero and defensive specialists for Tennessee. Ashlyn King coming on now to serve. Abby Eckler has done a very nice job along with the libero Torres, and Kiki Granberry making a grand statement once again. How many times have we said overpass or overdig?
I feel like I can't even say it anymore because we've said it so many times, but that all starts from the serve. Tough service pressure from Tennessee forcing these overpasses. Texas A&M getting too choked up on some of these passes.
King again. 2 matches remaining on the schedule for both of these teams. We'll give those to you in just a moment. Oh, nice play. Kazapala hit 350 so far on the year. That was the real deal.
That's the firepower that Texas A&M needs to get a little bit of momentum in this game. She brings so much strength up front. She's a momentum player that can get this team going.
Did not play against Kentucky because of the injury, the freak injury to the Achilles. Did not play in the first 2 sets so far here on the afternoon. Tennessee has Mississippi State, South Carolina left. Texas A&M has Ole Miss and at Alabama. But business to take care of here. They're within 2. Fingal able to tuck that ball down inside, and Kazapala would like to have that one back. We mentioned a really good crowd. We'll show you graphically. 3,273 on hand this afternoon, the 10th largest in history. That's fantastic on a Sunday afternoon.
That shows you what Jamie Morrison is doing with this program. They're supporting this team because they're getting a lot better.
Ball again, what a good one-on-one matchup, and this time Raven Chase gets the better of Kazapala.
Huge read in the middle from Raven Chase, identifying the lane and the area that Kazapala wanted to hit. She'd go over her hands right back into it, take that seam away.
Give you some of the overall numbers. Tennessee hitting 353 on the afternoon. After that scuff block, Texas A&M just under 200. Off the edge of the block, nice looking offense. 2 good setters here at Texas A&M, and Lindicki as well, but they really need Moneke, who's really been targeted in serve receive on the day. She will really grow after her freshman year at A&M.
A lot of times you'll see that happen with freshmen outsides. That serve receive is one of the things that takes the longest to develop.
Well, with Jamie Morrison's pedigree, particularly in the international game, he knows how to he knows how to train serve receive. Mackenzie Plant, the freshman out of Dripping Springs, Texas, on the floor now, wearing number 6 for Tennessee.
Plante in for Levitt on the outside, maybe just wanted somewhat of a different look to find some kind of offensive production out there.
Server. Good first contact and better block. 2 blockers up that time. Lindicki with Kazapala, number 9 and number 1 respectively, working on Raven Chase.
And that is a wall up front with Kazapala back in the game. It provides such a big block, a wall for Tennessee to try to hit through.
Texas A&M, led by Kazapala, is the number 1 blocking team in the SEC, number 5 nationally. I mean, that is a really solid number against quality. And for Jamie Morrison, this is his first head coaching job at the collegiate level. Hugh McCutcheon, Marv Dunphy, Karch Kirai, Doug Beal, and Ron Larson, all of whom either are or will be Hall of Famers.
Yeah, not too bad of a list to have as mentors.
No, that's a good list. That's a very good list.
And he really emphasized, you know, putting in the work, not just taking jobs because you feel like you have to, moving from place to place, settling in somewhere and really learning from some of these great coaches.
And Hugh McCutcheon, longtime coach at Minnesota, was the head coach for the USA men's team that won gold in 2008. Took a chance on then Coach Morrison, who was 24 years old. That ball cuffed down the line. Smart shot that time by Erica Lovett. Really good offense. Tennessee's been in control. They've been pushed a time or two in the opening set, yes, and they're being pushed right now. We'll see how Morgan Fingal and the Tennessee Lady Volunteers respond.
With Kozapala back in the game, Texas A&M's block has skyrocketed, forcing Tennessee to try to hit shots they don't want to hit, resulting in more errors.
Pretty good contact by Monecki. Ripped down the line. Torres with a saving dig. And right back, and pressure on the right side. Really, really hard working defense by Tennessee.
Torres working so hard to get outside the block, knowing that Lednicki is that lefty. She has the ability to take that ball down the line. She stays outside the block to get it. And that forces her to hit the next one out of bounds to try a little bit harder to sneak it in.
And it's deflating. When you receive the ball very efficiently, you get a one-on-one. Not getting one-on-one here. That's a ball control mistake again. And that's going to be tipped to the floor, sloppy play by A&M. But going back to kind of that deflating play before you pass the ball in system, you get a perfect set to the outside, you're dug out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you got to play all over again. So that's a win for Tennessee.
So frustrating as an attacker when you're going up wailing on balls and someone's just sitting on it, easy dig at 6'6". She got the height for it too.
Well, but you've seen her. She is a super talent, and just such a shame that Alexis Stuckey, the outstanding setter for Florida, went down early in the season. Went down early after they had beaten Stanford. Good swing. What a fantastic transition set that time by Jay Torres, number 22, in the white Libero jersey.
Beautiful out-of-system set, kept it high and tight so that Erica Lovett had all options to hit. She's so good when this ball is tight, going right at the fingertips, tooling it out of bounds.
Look at this number defensively, 39 digs for Tennessee compared to only 19 for A&M. That's a really good effort. That's an ace serve. Speaking of that, doing good work from the service line. 25 aces coming in for Morgan Fingal.
Tennessee really testing out that end line. We've seen now about 4 or 5 balls drop right on the back line.
Just love the way Fingal plays the game with such intensity, the way she relates to her teammates, and the way she's willing to sacrifice. Even her 5th year in her career at Tennessee, she's just trying to get better each and every day. Yeah, the serving numbers, when I was preparing for this match and I was looking at the serving numbers, it really is off the charts. Coming in 144 aces against 185 errors. But Tennessee's only been ace 74 times. They're plus 70 in that category. Good swing, and that one will not be tracked down. Very nicely done by Monecki off the left side. But when you look at Lovett, along with Kerr, along with King, Janasia Moore, along with Jay Torres, it's tough to put the ball away against Tennessee.
Oh, they're one of the best passing teams in the entire conference. On this season, they're passing about 55% good pass. That is very, very high.
3 points away from the sweep on the overpass. Good work by Kerr to win the point. So now Tennessee just 2 points away from improving to 14-2 in conference and 23-3 on the year. The last time that Tennessee hosted in the NCAA tournament was in 2011. And they will do that certainly this year. Oh, what a roof. Moore once again wearing number 18, getting ready to close this out with Raven Chase.
Beautiful close from Raven Chase. Jason Moore just putting up a wall up front, diving back into her middle.
Tennessee's hit over 300, 6 blocks, 40 digs. Served exceptionally well. And defended, working really hard in every phase of the game, eventually to the floor. Bianca Monecki able to put that ball down. She'll eventually get the kill, number 13 in white. but match point again for Tennessee. There is Margot Manning. A&M was able to make a little bit of a push at the end of the opening set, but after that, Tennessee closed it out, won the second easily. 3,000 people, very quiet in this building.
Pin drop.
Match point. Janasia Moore, who's been fantastic on the afternoon, and she was once again. Janasia Moore, 16 kills on 34 swings, hits 350. Tennessee has won 7 in a row, and certainly if somebody wanted to, and I know it was Texas A&M, if they wanted
चल के बाद बंदे के भोला समिति से भमिया तोहार सिर्फ संडे के बुझो जी अब करे हमारे इंतजार किसन संडे के सुन Yeah.
सिमरन।